Hello, my name is Matt Wu. In this presentation, I will talk about the topic 2 security plan. So, what is security planning? Years ago, when most computing was done on mainframe computers, data processing centers were responsible for protection. But beginning as far back as the 1980s, the introduction of personal computers and general ubiquity of computing has changed the way many of us work and interact with computers. You have probably seen many common examples of the neglect in the news stories. For these reasons, many organizations using computers to create and store valuable assets should perform thorough and effective security planning. A security plan is a document that describes how an organization will address its security needs. The plan is subject to periodic review and revision as the organization's security needs change. Enterprise security starts with a security plan and it describes how organization will address its security needs. What are organizations and security plans? A good security plan is a official record of current security practices, plus a blueprint for other change to improve those practices. By following the plan, developers and users can measure the effect of proposed changes, leading eventually to further improvements. The impact of the security plan is important too. There are three aspects of writing a security plan. As we talked in the last session, the security plan is a document. So this document will explain three questions: what it should contain, how to write it, how to obtain support for it. And there are two specific cases of security plans. Business continuity plans to ensure that an organization continues to function in spirit of a computer security. Incident an incident responsible to plans to organization activities to deal with the crisis of an incident. In this section, I will talk about the contents of a security plan. It contains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 parts: policy, current state, requirements, recommended controls, accountability, timetable, and maintenance. Policy indicating the goals of computer security effort and the willingness of the people involved to work to achieve those goals. Then current state, describing the state of security at the time of play. Requirements, recommending ways to meet the security goals. Recommended controls, mapping controls to the vulnerabilities identified in the policy and requirements. Accountability, documenting who is responsible for each security activity. Timetable, identifying when different security functions are to be done. Maintenance, specifying a structure for periodical updating the security plan. The policy is a very important part of contents of a security plan. A security policy documents an organization's security needs and priorities. Consider security needs for different types of organizations. What does an organization consider its most precious assets? It's a very important question to answer. There are trade-offs among the strengths of the security, the costs, the inconvenience to users, and more. For example, we must decide whether to implement very stringent and possibly unpopular controls that prevent all security problems or simple mitigate the efforts of security branch once things happen. The policy statement must answer three essential questions. 1. Who should be allowed access? 2. To what system and organizational resources should access be allowed? And what types of access should each user be allowed for each resource? And the policy statement should also specify the following aspects: the organization's goals on security, where the responsibilities for security lies, and the organization's commitment to security. The assessment of current security status are very important marks of organizational security plan. The organization can determine the vulnerabilities by performing a risk analysis, a systematic investigation of the system, its environment, and the things that might go wrong. This status can be expressed as a listing of organizational assets, the security threats to the assets, and the controls in place to protect the assets. And as we can see in the table, the 6 requirements of the TCSEC, there are security policies, identifications, marking, accountabilities, assurance, continuous protections. There are 6 parts of the security requirements. The heart of the security plan is its set of requirements, functional and performance terms placed on a system to ensure a desired level of security. Security requirements document organizational and external demands. So let's have a look at the picture. Input to the security plans. Security policies and security technicals and controls work together to requirements. It is called the security planning process. Then the output is just the security plan. Recommended controls, responsibility for implementation, timetable, and the plan maintenance also play very important roles in a security plan. Recommended controls. The security plan must also recommend what controls should be incorporated into a system to meet those requirements. It tells how the system will be designed and developed to meet the stated security requirements. Responsibility for implementation. A security plan documents who is responsible for implementate security. No one responsible implies no action. The field of human-computer interaction is mature. Guidance materials are available and numbers good examples exist. Timetable. The security plan includes a timetable that shows how and when the element of the plan will be performed. These data also set milestones so that management can check the progress of implementation. Plan maintenance. Security plans must be revised periodically to adapt them to changing conditions. As we talked about the requirements of a security plan and the many essential questions we should answer for security plans, it means we need a security planning team and with different members to play different roles. As with any such comprehensive task, these activities are likely to be performed by a committee that represents that the interests involved. The size of commit depends on the size and the complexity of the computing organization and the degree of its commitment to security. So, a security planning team should represent each of the following groups: computer hardware group, system administrator, systems programmers, application programmers, data entry personnel, physical security personnel, representative user. The aim of the security plan is assuring commitment. Commitment to the plan means that security functions will be implemented and security activities carried out. Those three groups of people must contribute to making the plan a success. First, the planning team must be sensitive to the needs of each group affected by the plan. Second, those affected by the security recommendations must understand what the plan means for the way they will use the system and perform their business activities. In particular, they must see how what they do can affect other users and other systems. Finally, management must be committed to using and enforcing the security aspects of the system. So, security plan positions technically issues in terms non-technical people can appreciate. Finally, thank you for your time for my presentation about the topic of security planning. If you have any problems or revision of my presentation, please notice me by the email.